Hey, does excuse me come with that? No, fool. Ain't what I'm saying.
Yo, what's up, Middle Dragon? How are you, bro? How's everything going? Thank you so much for tuning in. Guys, I gotta get you a little something here. Hold on. But first off, let's see. What do we have here? We have some of this, and then we have some of this. Alright, let's get some of that playing for you guys. That part. And do we want this one? We don't want that one. No. Look at this one. Wow. Hold on. Let's change that around real quick. I want this one. Yeah. Okay. Alright, we're good. What's up, Jay? What's going on, bro? Guys, I literally don't have a lot of time. I'm only going to be on for about an hour. Okay. We got about an hour of playtime here. I'm just gonna grind here a little bit. We need to get some cash in game. First, we're gonna hit up the car lot because we need money. Oh gosh, what's going on here? Something's piling up. Holy crap! Look at the traffic here. Are we having the same problem as before, Jay? Looks like the server's popping today, there, Jay. Look at that. Are you ready for the weekend? Wait, Star Citizens this weekend? Is it? I'm about to die. Holy moly! Wow. Oh yeah, Legion's having an issue. Oh gosh. I thought a lot of servers on 5M fixed that problem. Let's get down to our car. I wish I can see my FPS, guys. I don't know why I can't see it and it's bothering me. You haven't parked any vehicles here? What? So you telling me I have to go all the way out to where I parked my car? No way. Oh, so your car parking doesn't go anywhere you want it to. Where did I park it? Oh, Jay, we're in trouble. I think I parked it out here. No, I parked it all the way up here. Oh man, that is crazy, bro. Yep, Galaxy Star. What's going on? Hey. And yeah, we are playing GTA 5 right now. All right, so bad news. I did park my car, but it was way up north, so I don't have my car access right now. Looks like we're gonna have to catch a ride up north, guys. Hey, I just learned something new here today. Learned something new here today, bro. Wherever but speaking of Star Citizen, that means I'm gonna have to reinstall it. The Legion's going crazy. Yeah, well, no, it looks like it's kind of fixed now.
Please watch where you're going.
No, because when I install it next time, I'm gonna put it on my
Dad, go back.
SD drive.
Back.
What?
Back.
Back for what?
Go back.
Dang it, I gotta go all the way up there to get my car? So I gotta remember which garage I parked it? Where is it? You don't have any vehicles in this world? Oh, that's crazy, dude. That is crazy. So we can't go in from this way then for the hospital either? Why is it burning up in here? this way works.
Let's go! Fucking asshole!
So let's go to our world. We need to get out to our world, guys, because wow, that was slick, right? You like that, bro? Always gotta bait your enemy, guys. That's how you do it. How you doing? I'm doing really good, Sebastian. Thank you for asking. Am I going crazy here? What the heck is going on, guys? I don't know what's wrong with me right now. Man, I have to go 25 fuel for real. It should at least take us to where we need to go. I need to go get my car. Yo, that means I gotta park my car. The car is pretty low on fuel. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. 24. I might be running out, so let me just speed race this thing because I don't know. So look at this. I like that. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I think the Legion might have an issue as well. We might have to keep an eye out for that Legion thingy. What if I get highway patrol out here? So let's be careful. Because there's 3+ cops on today, guys. We want to watch it. The car's all beat up too. Not looking good on our part. Right. So how's everybody doing today, guys? Later, I don't know, Jay. I don't know what to play later, bro. I want to do the game streaming app. I just can't decide what I want to play. They will take you to jail. No, I know. I believe it. I believe it. Yeah. Well, if anything, speeding would just be a ticket, obviously, if I'm not going like severely over the limit. Oh, look, there's a garage right next to the prison too. I wonder what the prison would look like. I really wonder what the prison would look like. That'd be kind of interesting. All right, we're almost there. We got 3 miles. Wow. All right, so judging by the way the garage system is working, I would assume that I would need to go to the same thing. TTs or State of Decay 2. Okay, okay. Are you gonna do the game streaming app, Jay, or you're probably gonna play it on your big TV screen, right? You're like, yeah, I like the phone, man, but big screen's where it's at. There's a gas station there, but I'm not gonna need it, guys. I'm good. This car's about to overheat. Oh gosh, why? Or does a car just do that when it runs out of gas? Oh, we're in big trouble. Big TV screen, right? Jay's like, no. No small screen for me, buddy. No. Oh, man. We're almost there, guys, but I don't know if we're going to make it. I think we will, but I am burning. Oh, why is this so hot? Does it stop playing for you guys? It did. We're going so far out, guys. So far out here. Look at my engine. It's smoking it up. Honestly, you know what I noticed about GTA though? A lot of times when people get pulled over, they don't accept the ticket. Like, wouldn't you just want to pay the ticket? Try playing it on your phone if you're away from home. Right, no, yeah, no, I totally agree. Totally agree. Which is usually what I do sometimes. Little Dragon, what's up? Yeah, channel points? So channel points is pretty much... I don't want to compare it to like Mixer, but the thing is, okay, so channel points is kind of like, so while you're watching the, I'll have to make a command for that, showing you guys what channel points are. Just remind me, Jay, I'll have to post that blog for you guys. So channel points pretty much gives you like the, Andreas, thank you. channel points gives you the so like while you're chatting in chat, you get points. While you're active in chat, you get points. There are limitations, so like he can only do certain sets of rewards. The creator can choose whatever other rewards you at their disposal. Again, it's not integrated or automated or anything like that, so it could become overcrowded and hard to keep up with. But for the most part, guys, it's pretty simple. Look at that sunset, guys. That sunset is like wow. Look at this. I like that. Yeah. Jay's gonna show you. Yeah, so right now you can do like highlighted messages. So if you want me to see your message, because sometimes I don't see your message, so if you want me to see your message, just highlight it, guys, and I will definitely read it out. Alright, so we made it here. Let's get to our car, because I remember this is where we parked it up, guys. And Jay, I lost everything when I died, dude. Oh, I'm gonna die again. How do I do this? Yeah, there's my car. So your car only comes out wherever you had it. Why is my windows busted? How do I repair my car? Right, first of all, I'm going to starve to death. Second of all, I need to pump gas. Not enough cash. Oh, shoot, I'm in trouble. Oh, man. Wait, did I leave any food in my trunk? Probably not. Of course I didn't. Why would I? I'm going to use the ATM while this lady's here. Why not, right? Alright, so let's take out just a little bit of money, guys. Not a lot, just a little bit. Alright, so let's go ahead and get some gas, and we have to hit up the nearest store real quick, because we need to, nah. I wish, Jay. I wish. I wish, man. I really do. You guys are doing great. Thank you so much for the 10 diamond gifts there. It allows you to do stuff like this, right? There you go. So see it like right now, J13 just spent 800 channel points to highlight that message. Now you get a lot of these by being active in chat, guys. All right, so now we got gas. Let's hurry up and get out of here. Are you putting your car up by the driver door? Shh, right? I don't even know where the gas tank is. I don't see the gas cap. So I'm gonna role play my gas caps on my hood. That's what we're gonna do. Get out of here. First of all, we need to hit up a store. Store is going to be, of course it's nowhere around here. Why would it be, right? Man, there's one out that way. Let's go that way. All right, buddy. Let's hurry up. I need to hurry up, guys. I'm going to die of hunger here. I usually don't speed, but I think we're going to speed. And I wish that, I'm going to see if they can add something where the officers can check to see if you're wearing your seatbelt or not. Or even put like a map like strapped around your character. But then again, that might not work right depending on the props that people are wearing. So I'll definitely leave a suggestion for that. Because I know that's a suggestion I had for a lot of servers. And people were mad at me about it. They're like, oh, well, just roleplay. And it's like, yeah, but everybody's going to lie about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know the script can detect... No, screw this. I just went completely the wrong way, but I don't have a choice here, guys. Let's make sure the door's locked. Seriously? Okay, I'm gonna die. I gotta hurry up and get some food. Where the snacks at? Here's the drinks. Alright, so we're gonna get tea. I'm gonna get 5. Okay. And then snacks, we're going to get potato chips. We're going to get 5 as well. So let's go ahead and hit up the cashier. There's no NPC here, but it's all good. Set up the cash register. We're going to go ahead and confirm that purchase. We're going to pay that with cash. We're going to go ahead and open up our inventory menu here. We're going to start eating or drinking. And let's go ahead and get that all up, guys, so we're safe. Yeah, Jay, actually, so right now we got 1 of each, right? We got 1 of each. So let's go ahead and actually get 4 of each. Okay. All right. Let's get back to that cashier real quick. We're gonna confirm that purchase. We're gonna pay with cash. This item is to work and purchases them. Okay, yep, there we go. All right, nice little typos there, Tricks. Yeah, that's spelling though. All right, let's get the heck out of here. All right, we're jumping back in the car. We're gonna lock the car. We're gonna put the seatbelt on. We got our high beams on because I want to see everything. Plus, it looks cooler. Gas is good. How much time we have on the stream? We got like less than 40 minutes. Things are looking great, guys. Jay, as soon as you told me about that last year, you got me very excited about that. That is actually really awesome news, guys. Last year, The Nightmare was a game that me and Jay purchased on Discord. Well, actually, I did a purchase on Discord. Thanks to Discord for the wonderful allowing Discord partners to either have certain games and get the Nitro perks and stuff, guys. So Discord, shout out to you guys. You guys are awesome. Discord has helped content creators tremendously, guys, and they have made like gaming in general just phenomenal. Now, I know the store system didn't really work in their favor as they planned, but it doesn't mean Discord is not good. You know what I'm saying? They have the good parts about them. It's just the store system just didn't really work out for them too much. So what we need to do now is actually I don't think I want to do the cluck and bell thing because we have to go all the way back down, right? And you said you didn't like it, Jay. I don't have time to do any of the jobs. Shoot. Okay. Let's head out. And I'm going to park the car at a different garage. And I think what I'm going to do... There you go. Didn't break. Just because, what you call it? The, 10:30 p.m. Yeah. It's 10:30 p.m. for you, Jay? Yeah, right now it's 9:30 for me. It's 9:30. You guys need some music. Put the hazards on, guys. Roleplay this real quick. Alright, so got the hazards on. We got no music. Please don't stop the music. Music. I'm gonna hit play all. Happened here? Okay. Oh, I know what the problem is. There we have it, folks. Let's get these popped up real quick. Alright, things are looking good. Let's turn the hazards off, make sure no cars are behind us, and let's get going. Yo, why are the lights so crazy? Holy moly! You know what? I don't know. You were right about the wheels, Jay. Look at the wheels. What the heck, yo? What is going on? I'm trying to drive like this. I'm driving really crazy. This is how we look up in the air right now, guys. We're looking good. We're looking good. Look at that. Ooh. Oh, you just be advised. We got a tricks. Currently heading in the southbound direction. They're currently on the Sonora Freeway heading to Mount Gordo. Over. Copy that. This is X-Ray. We currently got visual. Suspect is still heading southbound in a four-door sedan. Vehicle seems to be in a silver color. Got a restart coming up here very shortly. I haven't claimed my daily. I'm gonna pull to the side real quick, put some hazards on. Alright, and then we're gonna do T/daily. What? What you mean? Oh, you're unlocking and locking the car. T/daily. Not a valid command. Oh, probably because I capitalized it. Are you serious? I gotta wait an hour? Of course, when I gotta get off. Unbelievable. Unfreaking believable, yo. You're gonna make me wait that long. What is the matter with you? Curving all over the road. You got it. Yo, look at the sky, Jay. I'm telling you, dude, I don't remember the game looking this beautiful. Is it just the graphic settings or what is going on here? Like, it looks really nice. Nighttime looks really good. What is going on? Is something happening? Gotta be an update. There's no way. There's no freaking way. Or it's just maybe they've updated. Yeah, I'm telling you, bro. And we played this how many times before? I don't remember some of this. Like I remember this. I feel like the light is a bit intrusive. Like that right there, that sign. That's a bit much. Holy crap! That NPC is on my colito. My colito. My Carlito. Caramba. Oh gosh. We almost ran over something just now, guys. Man, I might not even have time to do a job. Man, I wanted to get some money. I don't think that's happening, guys. I gotta get off. Holy shit, I'm swerving. I feel like I'm drunk. Yeah, the lights are way too bright in certain areas. Yeah, I noticed that. So I'm thinking it's definitely, there's definitely something going on. How's my dash looking? Yeah, look at my dash, bro. See what I'm saying? Like, it shouldn't look like that. Yeah, you know what? I'm trying to think. It's either one. I think it's ambient occlusion. I bet you that's what it is. It looks nice to an extent, I guess, for like certain, if you want like some photorealism, but on the other hand, it is probably the ambient occlusion. Yeah, I think that's what it is, bro. Let me pull over to the side real quick. Yeah, let me pull over to the side here real quick. We're gonna go ahead and hit up the settings. We're going down to graphics. And we're gonna scroll down to wherever that ambient occlusion was. Because I remember for 5M, people did say turn it off. So I'm gonna turn it off. We're gonna hit yes. I think we're good. Nope. Still happening. Huh. So what is causing it? Something is causing it. Is it tessellation? No, I want to be tessellation. Actually, tessellation is nice. I want to keep that on very high. Post effects, maybe that's what it is. Oh, you can't turn it off all the way. Oh, no. Yeah, we don't want to do that right now. We'll have to get back to this later, guys. Find out what's going on here. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I really don't. Can somebody? We might have to ask. Oh gosh, dig it. Hey, why are you complaining? I'm the one that hit my car. Yeah, we're gonna have to check on Google for this one, guys. But honestly, at this rate, I have no idea. Or I probably just need to restart my game for it to take effect. Maybe, I don't know. I'm burning up. It's getting hot in here. Yeah. All right, car, move out the way, please. Thank you. I'm just gonna switch lanes actually, just to make it look more legit, right? All right, so let me check. Two bright lights. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that, Jay. Or yeah, Jay. Give me a second. Oh, there's no side curve here. Take a look at this link real quick. Everybody wants to mod Red Dead. Oh my god, everybody is hyped and stoked about it, guys. But where the heck did my mouse cursor go? I can't find it sometimes. Like, I can't find my mouse. Too bright lights. Hello, I'm having a problem with my in-game lights. They are too bright. Also, when I target any lights to sky, it seems that they're like kind of making it back. You can, blah, blah, blah. Let me see what this guy's image looks like. I don't know what caused that issue, but with this mod, you can regulate the vehicle light. How to edit visual settings. .pat. Don't. Oh gosh. Really? I gotta do all this. Oh no, you can also install the mod. That might tone it down too, but I'll leave that up to you. It has nothing to do with the problem. That might only control certain lights. It has nothing to do with the brightness. Alright, I'll have to look into it. Probably in a bit, Jay. See what's going on. I think I've seen that thread before. I've had that issue with, I think that was more for police sirens. Because it is a LSPDFR. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you for those farts. I appreciate you farting in my chat. Really nice of you, dude. I'm about to crash. Oh gosh, turn up the volume. Actually, I need to stay in this lane. NPCs are crazy, bro. Oh gosh. I do got some dents and dings on my car, guys. What up, Trex? What up, Thomas? Alright, we want to be very careful here, guys. The GPS tells me to go this way, but yet the arrow tells me I cannot. I don't know how that would work. Not much, not much. That's good. That's good. That's good, bro. That's really good. It's really good, guys. Oh, my neck is killing me. Oh, I think it's the way I slept. My neck was all sideways. I think we could go this way, just, I don't know, it's just weird. Just don't start any fights. Right, with the popo, right. I'm trying to be nice. Uh-oh, popo. Jay, that's all your fault with that window, bro. You know, I feel like I'm lagging here. Like, it looks good on OBS, but my side? I feel like I'm lagging big time. Look, it's already... I ain't got much time. I already gotta get off. What the heck is going on? Oh man, so how do you guys feel about us going back into GTA? Like, is this something that you guys will like? Yeah, you forgot to unlock my door. No, no. Come on, man, with the light. Why is the light so long up in here? Why is it so long? Man, I can't see out these windows, guys. It's so dark. Look at my window. Wow. Shattered my windows. Okay, come on. Yo, imagine if this game was like all the way first person. It's hard to drive like this, for real. Alright, let's make a right turn here. Oh, seatbelt's on, I can't get out. Okay. Make sure we got our car locked. It's unlocked. Now it's locked, which is good. Okay, let's go to start running. Yeah, I mean, I guess it plays good, but it feels like I'm lagging. I don't know. It feels like it. Alright, so... what's another good job, guys? I don't know what... So my ghost self had to break it. Right. Let's try Fuel Trucker. Okay, so Fuel Trucker will do what now for us? What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a lot of work, man. Well, let's check it out, right? Alright, so first of all, let's set up the map. And while we're here, we need to do oil locker room. So wait, we gotta deliver gas, drill for oil, refined oil. Holy mackerel, why is this so much? Okay, so let's go to the locker room first. I don't know which order I'm supposed to do though. With my driving? You guys are scaring me. You guys are scaring me. You saying I shouldn't do this? Well, let's see what the payout is. I want to see what the money is. Oh my god, this red smoke's gotta go, guys. Feels like the Red Said dance, the desert. Did I not mark it on my map? I think the locker to spawn vehicle, then I don't know what else after that. Yeah, I know locker is always first. Yeah, I'm lagging, guys. Holy mackerel. I'm like lagging today. I don't know why. And I think it's just my computer. I think I need to restart it. I have a lot of things running on it. Yeah, let me hit the... Honestly, at this rate, I don't even know anymore. I think this is more of a... I don't know what kind of issue this would be. Honestly, I don't.
Nice.
Hey, look, my car's named Karen. What do we got the crack in here? What's up, Wicked Gaming? Welcome back, dude. Take forever. I should have not actually went live with this game. I don't think I have the time, guys. I feel bad. I'm gonna just eat this life, bro. Trying to be the nice guy, man. Try to show people what roleplay is all about, you know? Doesn't look as bright now, but it is kind of bright. And it is probably my vehicle DAT, because I think I did mess with it before. Before when I was like heavily modding the game. Blow it! Right. Oh, green arrow. Bum, 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 bum. Yo, if they did have speed cameras though, it was so control the population of like, man, driving first person in this game is hard. First of all, the mirrors don't work the way they should. I think I'm in a turning lane. I don't even know anymore. I'm just gonna drive with this, guys. I'm not... Six can't drive. No, I cannot. My driving is absolutely terrible. You know, screw this, guys. I'm just gonna slow at the red lights and then just keep going. Hola! Volale! Yo, I can park my car right around here. Right? Ooh, is now in jail for robbery, fleeing. Ouch. That's painful, dude. There's a garage right there, and then I have that. How would I want to do this? Well, let's see what the feeler job's all about.
Okay, cool. Be back. You know I wouldn't ask unless I needed it.
Bit of luck. See, I don't see much trash cans out here, Jay. You see what I'm saying? Oh shoot, wrong way. Somebody else is in jail for all the robberies, man. 50 minutes. Holy mackerel, dude. They don't play. The time they give you in this server is serious, bro. 2 crimes, 50 minutes. It's like 25 minutes apiece. Is that what it is? Wait, where am I going? Hey, I'm the new guy. I'm the new guy on the block. Oh, we got parking spaces though, which is good. What the? just get out of my car? That was weird. Lock the car. Let's turn it off. I gotta shut my door, guys.
I could really use a beer.
If you say so. She's got a sister. Call me back.
You guys are killing me. Oh my gosh.
Traffic he'll be worrying about will be on the way to the medic.
All right, guys, we are ready for work. We are a fueler now. So what's the point of this? So what do I got to do here? Wait, we got a couple of yellow bubbles here. So we got this one, right? Spawn a truck. Oh, you got to be kidding me. So the return spot, the fueler truck, locker room, and then what's the other one? Deliver gas, which is that one. Drill for oil. Mix refined oil. Service vehicle. Spawn vehicle. Vehicle return. So we drill for oil, then mixed refined oil, and then we deliver gas? Is that what I'm doing? I don't know. So what's this way? Hold on. We got a couple things over here we could check out. You don't have enough gas? Oh. So what's this one? That's to return the vehicle. Okay. I'm not gonna have enough time for this. And look, my fuel's at 20. Really? Really? I did it before, but can't remember what I all had to do. Right, very true. Yeah, so Wicked Gaming. So for those sound effects commands, I got you. Can somebody do an exclamation mark SFX in chat? One of my lovely subs or mods, either one, don't matter. Any one of you guys. Any one of you guys. I'll let you guys learn the stream commands a little bit. That's it right there, guys. Oh yeah. And then if you want to know more about the VIP benefits, guys, exclamation mark VIP. About time. Right. Yeah, very true. No, you'll get it, Wicked Gaming. You'll get it, bro. You'll get it. I think I have to book it up out of here. I just don't know what we're doing. I'm about to run out of gas. Oh, I'm so about to run out of gas. I should have returned. I can't return the car and get full gas, though. That sucks. So hold up. Wait a minute. So do I get to choose? Drill for oil. Deliver. I think we deliver gas. No. I think we drill for oil first. I think that's what we're doing, and then we have to refine it. Right? Is that what we're doing? Honestly, I have no idea right now. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna have time for this, guys. I don't think I will. Especially since I don't know what I'm doing. Oh my god, no! Thank you guys, I appreciate those. Thank you. Wait, really? You'll die if we crash it? Yo, why is that such a huge link? I gotta fix that. 4 miles? Oh my god. Yeah, I don't even care. If I get a speeding ticket, I get a speeding ticket. I paid a speeding ticket because I don't have time for this. The stop sign. I'm in a bad city too. Oh gosh. The light is red. Nope, light's green. Good, perfect. Yeah, that truck is full of gas. But it said it was empty, so I think I had to get gas first. But yeah, I think I did see these things explode before. Oh gosh, I gotta go by the PD. Of course I do. Why wouldn't I? Oh boy. What? I just heard explosions. Oh, don't tell me they're having the Legion Square issues. You guys want to see something funny? Watch this. Let me drive down Legion Square with this big truck. See what happens. Ooh. There you go, Wicked Gaming. Look at that. Did you use your channel points? See that? That's cool, right? Yo, why is there so many trucks? Oh boy. This looks like it could be bad. Not an area to hang out in, guys. See, nobody's at Legion. Look at this. See this, Jay? Legion's like not a hangout area. Which is a good thing. Oh, you got the email, see? And you only been here since what, yesterday? So those points, you accumulate those points very fast, guys. At least not on this server. Right, very true. Yeah, you're making me hungry. I want me some food. What the heck happened, yo? What the heck happened out there, guys? Give me a sign. I'm about to run out of gas. Oh my god, I'm about to run out of gas. The gas station's right over there, I think. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Let's go this way. Oh man, I'm at 7. No! Always thinking about food, you know it. I'm hungry, yeah, and you know it. Oh, I'm running out, no! This is where it starts acting weird. There we go. I had to catch just the right spot to put the gas in. So with tricks, right? Yeah. Wendy's sounds really good. What'd you eat at Wendy's? What's like the next big trend, big hype about Wendy's, guys? What do you guys like the most? I just so you guys don't have to hear me pop, 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 pop. Oh, you just had some chili. Oh, very nice. Got my paycheck. Okay. Holy mackerel, this truck is a gas hog. Let's get back inside, guys. Get back inside. Go, go, go. I like that it changes our outfit, though. Makes us feel more like actual workers. That's pretty cool. All right, so we got about 2 miles on that one. So we're taking the back road. This could be very dangerous. We might want to watch ourselves here. Guys, are there any like new live stream platforms out there, though, guys, that you guys are aware of? You know, Live Me was a thing for a while, and then that died, and then I think Streamcraft was a thing for a while, and then that just shut down, and then there was Up Live, and then that just died. What's the next thing, guys? Any ideas? Anybody know anything? I think I even tried Beagle Live and Cube TV. They were both kind of pooey. Nemo TV, I think I tried that too, but the problem with them is that that's more of like a foreign app or Spanish app. If you speak English, you're not going to do too well on there. Thank you, Wicked Gaming. You guys are making me hungry. You guys keep this up. You guys are going to be doing this very soon. You guys are making me hungry. Hungry. But don't buy nothing right now because I'm not going to be home that long. I got to go head out. We'll be doing some mobile streaming later on, guys. And speaking of mobile streaming, I got to pay my phone bill. I think my phone's about to get cut off. Man, this truck is so slow. It's so slow. Right, Thomas? You got it. Oh, man, I am lagging. What the? Is it because I'm streaming? It's because I'm streaming. It runs good without streaming. Oh, what happened here? Why is there a truck bed just sitting there? This better be worth the money, man. There you go, Jay. Getting the Doritos, sugars, and energy drinks and popcorns and all types of shenanigans. That's really nice. Wow. On the way, dude. Oh, yo, I think this was like one of the missions for the single player. I remember. Oh, like single player forever. Yeah, I want to buy houses like out here. Get some roleplay going on, you know? Hopefully they'll increase their player slots soon, which I'm pretty sure they will once they establish the player base. Yeah, keep bringing the good. Oh my god. Traffic, man. Why are these double lines? These should be like, one side should be, it should be dotted yellow, not solid. Oops. Whoopsie daisy. Alright, so we're almost at the oil rig here, guys. We're about to refine the oil. Well, not refine the oil, but we're going to drill for oil. So let's see how this works. I'm surprised there's not a mining job. Mining, I think, would be kind of cool. Check the realtors. Yeah, that'd be interesting. Yeah, I read about it, actually. Oh, I think I see where we're going. We're legit going to the oil rig. Thank you, Wicked. Clap those hands, guys. Just make it clap. Just make it clap. So we could just take a shortcut. Oh gosh, does this stuff blow up? I don't even know. I wasn't paying attention. The door is locked, which is good. Good. Let's see what's going on here. Eat a drill. 50K has been credited to everyone as it thinks. Where is it? Go out of the circle and go back in. Where's my drill? Oh, I'm doing it. I'm seeing a +1 right now. Okay. Never mind. I thought we were gonna actually take a drill out. I know on Rage you can actually drill, so I didn't know if that's the thing on 5M or not. I think a mining job would be awesome. Let me get my notebook handy. Dandy. Look, I bought some pens. What do you know? How much can we hold these? 14 out of 24. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3. Mining job. For what was the other one that I said? Hello, going along with me. Yay! Yeah. Yep. Guys, you know what? You guys are amazing. I appreciate all the follows and help, guys. You can't carry more oil. Okay, so now that we have the oil, I put it in the trunk. Alright, we're getting more oil up in here. We're getting more oil up in here. Wow, you guys really know how to make me hungry. Now I want to go get a Big Mac. I want a Big Mac, guys. Who wants to buy me a Big Mac? Maybe I'll go... Well, I don't know. I heard live streaming in a car now. I heard it get strict about that in a lot of areas. I'll take a Big Mac too, right? Big Mac sounds delicious. All right, I got some suggestions here, guys, which is good. All right, where are we at on the oil thingy? Oh, we got some time there, guys. Okay, hold on. While we're doing that, give me one second. Alright, so we got enough of the oil here, so let's go ahead and put these inside the trunk, right? Okay. Go back, get some more oil again. Here, we'll do a little emote too, guys, just to kind of spice things up a little bit, right? We will do... Can we do drill? No, there's no drilling, guys. What can I do for, got a lot of sitting animations, which is good. We'll just do that, guys. We're drilling, right? We're drilling. That's what we're doing. Do we get all the 22 out of 24, guys. We're almost there, which is really good. Okay, so we should be full now. It keeps buffering, really? It might be, if it keeps buffering. Let's cancel the emote. Whoa, 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 whoa. Why won't it let me cancel? Oh, because I'm typing. Okay. Oh, what the heck? So let's do 24. How many of these can I actually carry here? Wow, we can get quite a bit here, Jay. Oh, man. I should do the leaf blower emote? Okay, let's find out. What was that again? Emotes, pop emotes, and leaf blower, right? It should be an else. No. There we go. I like that. That's pretty cool. Alright, is Twitch acting up because on my side keeps buffering? Okay, so is anybody else buffering? Also, if you are here, you can change the quality options. Put it down on the quality if it's buffering. Sometimes on your phones, if you're watching on your cell phone, like, I remember my old phone where when I watch YouTube videos, I had to watch them on 480 instead of 720. But that was before I got on a better plan. A lot of times those unlimited plans don't really give you the best internet service, period. They just give you the lowest quality possible. So you have to kind of sacrifice it for, you know, you get quantity over quality. Yeah, but unlimited doesn't mean it's good though, Wicked. So on my end, I'm actually watching it right now. I'm looking at my other phone. I'm watching the stream. Phenomenal, no lag. This one's 4G and this one's 5G. So I know they're both working pretty good. But sometimes it depends. If you use too much data, like if you go over 20 gigs a month, your speeds go down drastically. All right, so we need to cancel this this emo here, guys. Wait, we're still collecting? Holy crap, I think we're almost... I think this is enough, guys. I don't know how much we can actually collect because 24 out of 24. Okay, I don't know how much we can put in the trunk. The truck, I mean. Can't carry any more oil. All right, right now we're... Dude, we can carry so much. Wow, we can carry so much. I think this job is worthwhile, Jim. It looks like it could be worth money, bro. But it is consuming, so but I see you can store a lot more of the quantity. So once we do this, we're drilling for the oil, right? Next we have to mix the refined oil, so it's gonna make us go all the way down south. Once we mix it, wait, what? Mix refined oil and then refined oil, and then we deliver gas. Wow, man, that's crazy. I think just to be safe, guys, we know we can store more here, but I think we're not going to. I'm only going to get this 24 and then we're going to head out. But it looks like we can store quite a bit of this, like the petroleum thingy that we're digging up with this oil thing, which is really nice. Speaking of that, this is... Can you smell what my computer is cooking? What I do? It's cooking my processor. That's what it's doing. This ain't PU. I love that about my car alarm, guys. I just hit this button. This remote started up, man. Very good. It's funny because this same alarm was actually in one of the one thingies. Okay, so we should be full. Nah, we're almost full. So we're gonna start heading back, guys. Yep. You guys are killing me with all these food emotes. Alright, so... Alright guys, we're just gonna head out. Typically we could stay here, we could store a lot more in our storage, but it's all good. Okay, so next that we mix jet fuel oil, next I think we do, I think it is in order though, except for the delivered gas. I think we do this one, guys. So what was this one? Or maybe we do this one. I don't know. Let's try to go to the one that's a little closer first, just to be safe. This is a nice little town. And she just said, yeah, whatever. Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome, guys. Shout out to all my active viewers in here, guys. Okay, so we're all the way out here now. Okay, so there's a 24/7 right here.
You're fired!
Wait, that gas station is not scripted. Why? I know there was another one that was scripted, but they should all be mapped and or scripted. You know what I'm saying? Like all of them, every single one of them. I wish I could like buy my own semi truck. That'd be nice. Just go to the job with my own truck and just start doing the job. Alright, so we're gonna head over to this other spot. I'm hoping this is the next spot we go to. Look, Christmas lights. Oh, that's cute. No child missed that fire. Right? Fire Doritos. Fire Dorito. No, I really need to get something to eat now. You guys got me going. Alright, so put Ron in your tank. Oh gosh, cars are on my way. Oh no, can I make it? Yep. No, Thomas, right. What is this? I don't remember this. The diner? Oh, I like that little raptor thingy.
You're fired! Yeah.
Oh, we got the tractors out here, guys. Let's pass all this traffic. Do I really need this on my truck? I probably don't. Refined oil and then mix refined oil. I think we have to get the refined oil first, guys. I might have to just do this job later. Don't worry. Everybody remembers the talking fish. Be happy. Be happy now. Oh my god, where are we going? This looks dangerous. You want me to squeeze in there? Okay, hold up. How the heck do you want me to do this without like smacking things? You guys give me no room to do my job here. I never saw this place ever in this game. Like, this is my first time actually here. It's a nice parking lot though. go back inside. It's not working yet. Oh, wait, no, it is working. I'm refining the oil. Okay, good. Yeah, this job is wild. I see that. I see that. Absolutely. This is crazy, man. This is crazy, man. Whoa, 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 whoa. What is going on up in here? I don't know if I have time to do this, guys. Bum bum. Wait, add more gas stations. Right? Alright, so right now we had the bugs were the hospital beds. Pressing A allows you to move the bed and laying down together, blah 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 blah. We had the issues with the drinks and snacks. Supposedly they fixed it. While viewing the map, key legend names top left overlapping. That's what the other problem was. And then pressing Z button, name / ping not view or not aligned properly. And then for suggestions, we got the car wash in more locations, ATMs in more locations, and then the mining job. And then we have add more gas stations. There was a few of them that just weren't actually mapped or anything like that, guys. All right, so let's add some of these over. Which is good. Yeah, good. So we're getting some refined oil, and it looks like there's no actual picture for it. Oh, the refined oil costs like random amounts. Yeah, look at you guys' stats, though. You guys are doing beautiful with those stats. Keep it up, guys. Keep it up. Amazing. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Yahoo that up. Some more of that petroleum things going on over here. Alright, so we're getting some refined oil, guys, which is really good. Did I just miss the song? Really? Oh my gosh. Can't wait to get the internet back. Oh my god, yeah, internet will be awesome, Jay. I see you, bro. So yeah, those are all of our suggestions right now, guys, for the most part on that stuff. I think we're done with these suggestions for now. Oh, wait. What was the other one I was saying? There was another suggestion. Okay. Allow Leos to check seatbelts on players. Yeah, buddy. Kapow! Get those kapows up in the chat. Yeah, I think we're done here, guys. I think that's good for now. All right, let's get back in the truck. All right, so we refined all the oil. So now that we drilled for oil, refined oil, now we have to mix the oil, and then I think we just delivered the gas, guys, and I think we're done. I'm looking at this time, guys. I don't have the time. And I don't even know. No, I just blew us up. No, you cut the red wire, Wicked. No. Jay, what did you do, bro? Let's make this wide turn, guys. Let me look more into the bomb, Jay. Thanks for the feedback, though, guys. So for those of you participating in my mini games, just remember, you could post suggestions or wait, I should just post bugs, right? On my Discord, I'll put a bugs channel for you guys. Any bugs, you can post them. I'll make a Discord channel so you guys can do that. So I'll have to see what the payout amount is with TrickSpot. That way we can get those fixed up for you guys. Yeah, TrickSpot. Oh gosh. Stay in the middle lane. I couldn't think for a second, man. I couldn't figure it out. I lost the headlight. No. Dum, 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 dum. I think we're almost done here, guys. All we gotta do is do that and then just turn in the gas. I think we're good. And I think we're gonna get some money. Money. Getting rich. I died trying. Yo, I don't like the signs, how bright they are. Why are we getting this problem? Yeah. All right, guys. So I will do that. On Discord, I will open up a bug section so that way bugs can be related to... We don't have any game servers, so we ain't gonna worry about that problem. But for like our Discord or for our mini games for TrickSpot or anything like that, guys. So honestly, feedback is the best thing, you know. So that's one of the main things. To see what's going on with that. There are some mini games that non-subs can do. So if I open up an arena fight, you guys can do those. And I believe, like here, let me a second here. It even lets me do it. Like you guys can do that if you want. So non-subs can do that one. So yeah, you guys can do exclamation mark. Right. Oh my God, Jay, I knew you would do that. I knew it. I just knew it. I had this feeling, you know. I got a feeling that J13 will pick 69. Yes, J13 will pick 69. It was 41. Oh my gosh. Let me see another mini games you guys can do here, just kind of get you guys an idea here. So what you guys would do here, you guys would do exclamation mark rob bank, right? Why is it not working? What the? Oh, there we go. Yeah, you guys can rob the bank with me if you want. That works too, guys. Don't forget. We could just rob you. Right? Oh gosh, what am I going to do? What am I going? This job takes too long, man. Well, especially since I'm on a time limit. Now this one, more than one person can win the heist. You know what I'm saying? So if we all succeed in the heist, we'll all get a chunk of change. Yeah, you do rob bank and then the amount you want to put in. I don't remember what the maximum is. I just did 100. I think 25 is the max. I don't remember. Or it could be 100. I'll have to double check. I haven't really played this minigame in a while. Did you get all them unused retro coins anyway? Yeah, but you know me, Jay. Really? You gonna make me do a U-turn here? Wow. All right, buddy. Yeah, so like I invest my money, guys. Guys, if you are a sub, don't forget you can invest your money so you don't spend it all, guys. Put it in the bank. Exclamation mark invest. And then the amount you want to put away. And then you can also do exclamation mark check bank. And then exclamation mark withdraw. And it'll take your money out, guys. Man, this is taking too long. Come on. I should have just did the trucker job. The trucker job seems to be more straightforward. Get to the point, make that money real quick and go. $3,700 we made with that one. Problem is, each run, 3 runs will make about, you know, 10K, 11K, whatever. But it is what it is, man. But it's actually not too long. Like, I feel like this is really long. Oh god, I gotta go in there. Oh dear jeez. Alright guys, check your guns. We're storming into the municipal bag. Whoa! What happened? The crew suffered a few losses engaging the local security team. The remaining crew got away scoring. Woo! Look at that. Jay, they took you out, man. Took out Jay. Me and Wicked, we made it out alive. We made it, bro. We did it, Wicked. We did it, bro. We made it. Sorry, Jay. We had to leave you behind, bro. You were too wounded for us. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so that's another mini game, Jay, actually, that I've never actually even mentioned in chat. That is a thing here, by the way, guys. The rob bank system, which I haven't really seen anybody do it, but that's something you guys can do together whenever you guys want. Look at you, Wicked. You're getting those hours up, bro. You are. Oh, I'm going this way. Have to be on foot, really? We run out and back in. Is it working? Let me run out of the circle here and then run right back in. Now we're mixing oil, guys. Very good. I wish you would like update 6 while pressing F2. Allow items to update amount. without having to exit and reopen. That's another good suggestion there, guys. Seriously? Alright. We gotta get going up in here. Can I do the other mini games like Jenga and defusing the bomb? Or yeah, those are subs only. Yep. So here, gonna be right here, guys. So if you look at that link right there. So if you look at that link right there, it's actually going, if you scroll down, it's going to tell you the benefits of being a VIP member here. And then it's also going to show you the mini games that you guys can play under as well, guys. And then the sound effects commands, and then the custom commands. And then I do have it showing the redeem. So 1 is personal command, 2 is the VIP badge for our channel, and 3 will get you demand a game to play here on the stream, guys. I'll be changing some of the redemption items soon, though, so just bear with me. I had to move some of those out of the way, that's why. How much does VIP cost? Oh, it's been a while since I looked into that. You can purchase VIP without... Let me look at the... I think it's buy VIP. I think. I'm not 100%. Give me a second here. Let me... Bear with me. Hold on. So for the VIP stuff, let me double check. Bear with me here, guys. It's so yeah, you can buy gold, buy silver, and buy VIP is actually it. And I actually have that disabled. Why is it disabled? Buy gold, buy silver. Hold on a second. Okay. Yeah, so it is exclamation mark buy VIP. Alright, so we're almost done here, guys. Deliver the gas, and after that I think we are done. And I think, okay, so after we get done with this part, this is, so we mixed, refined, and I think we deliver gas next, guys, and we were done. So it's not too bad. right, let's go ahead and take this truck back, guys, and we're done. I gotta hurry up and get off. Oh, who's yelling at me? Why is it making me go this way? This doesn't look like an actual walk path. It's a nice little shortcut, though. Shit, I think I do remember going this way, but it looks different. So many props down here. All right, truck driver. Watch out of the way. Why is everybody saying hey to me? I'm like they're singing altar. Hey, what a wonderful time of day. Something about going out and playing. Oh, really, dude? This truck? Lagger or logger. Oh, you need to log somewhere else. All right, so did the VIP thing work for you guys? I'm crashing because I'm reading chat. Sorry, guys. Oh, shoot. It may not work for you, Jim, because you're already a VIP, bro. I think when you did it, it gave you silver now instead of bronze. Because you get bronze for subscribing, and I think you just made yourself get yeah, so yeah, you got silver now. So you could do exclamation mark VIP. You'll see what I'm talking about. It actually delivers quite fast. Wait, no, I think that was the... Alright, guys, I think we got it. We delivered everything. So, minus the, I want to say we made about 5,000 for that, guys. We made $5,000 doing this job. So it is more than trucker, but it is a bit tedious. There's just so much we have to do. But again, I didn't do all the petroleum. So if I would have grabbed more petroleum, which we could have, we probably would have made big bang buck. We can't return the trucks. Whatever. Actually, in that case, then I think they despawn after a while. That's what it is. Why did they remove that option? Like, wouldn't you want people to like return things? Blow it up? I don't have a gun. Whoa, dude! I could probably just log out right here, to be honest. Will my car be here? Probably not. It'd be nice if it does. Probably not when server restarts. Let me get to a garage real quick. There is one close by. We'll do this one, and then we are out of here. Oh, that red smoke is disgusting. And Jay, man, broke my window, bro. Thank you. Alright guys, so that was it. That was the fueler job. This car can drip. Oh gosh. At the bottom of your bio? I'll check it out, bro. I'll check it out. I'll check it out. On your Twitch? What's up your what? Your audio. Wait, what? What is with these random garages? Alright, this is it, guys. That's it for GTA 5 for me here today, and I hope you guys really enjoyed the stream. Wicked Gaming, I will definitely... Actually, let me click on you real quick. Just pause that real quick. Minimize that. Let's get these going. So we're going to head over to Twitch, and then we're going to look at Wicked Gaming Squad. Why are you not popping up, bro? Got you right here. Alright, Wicked Gaming Squad. Gotcha. I see you. You are hosting my channel. Thank you so much, Wicked Gaming Squad. Why? It's not really showing me anything, though. I don't see anything. No videos. Home. Let's hit the home. YouTube channel is Wicked. There's your YouTube. There's nothing to vote.
You're fired!
With that being said, Wicked, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add me. Okay, so with this being said, guys, I do have to head out. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. You guys are awesome. We actually got to play some more mini games here today, which was nice. How the heck do I exit out of this? Just gotta do it this way. I think we do it this way. Oh my god, I'm doing everything but what I need to. Okay, sucks. Oh yeah, the X is up here. Duh. Alright guys, so we're done. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys hanging out here tonight. It was a lot of fun indeed. So I'll catch you guys at the next broadcast. Wicked Gaming, thank you so much for everything, guys. For everybody, all the hosts in the channel, you guys are awesome. Also for those sharing the stream and any social media period, you guys are awesome as well. Thank you for your loyalty and your contributions as always with your subscriptions and all the stuff that you guys do here. I will catch you guys later. Thank you so much, guys. Have a good one.